All right, so we are live. Welcome to the Contemporary Issues in Accounting course, Accounting 699. For those of you who may not know, the course ended up splitting into two because it's such a large class. This is one of your core requirements within the MSA program, as you know. So there's a lot of students who, are part of the core, obviously. So it's split. So if you had a classmate in a class last session that you don't see them here, they may just be in the other course. So the courses are going to run almost identical. So don't feel like you can't correspond with that person. They should be doing the same type of work as you are. So the way I like to conduct these kind of live conferences, as I call them, is today we'll talk about the syllabus mostly and what to expect. I do a brief overview of the week, and then there's an opportunity for questions afterwards. So generally, it's best if you have your little microphone on silent, just because sometimes there's background noise that we can avoid. Feel free to have yourself shown if you're comfortable with that. I like to see you sometimes, but that's not required either. But in the end, I take it off of broadcast if you're not comfortable asking your questions live, which I certainly understand. It can just be offline. And if you're really even not comfortable asking them in the group, we can even speak after the conference. That's fine too. In this type of format, I can set it up for just one student if you prefer, or we can always speak over the phone, whatever is best for you. So we'll get started here. I love this little depiction of success, and actually my screen's kind of showing it a little bit small for me, so hopefully you see it full, but it's right on your Canvas page. So some of you, you'll see, are in the Z3 course, and some of you are in the Z2 course. Again, it's the same exact course, just two different sessions. These conferences, I'm going to attempt to have them together because I'll be saying the same thing. However, I think there is a maximum capacity, so I'm actually counting. And I had been told it's 15. So if it's not fitting everyone, I might end up having an 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock call. I'll see how it goes with making sure that it's available to everyone because of the restrictions, I guess, that the Google Hangouts may have. So this little window, I think it's important as you're working through a master's program. It felt applicable to me thinking about it. People are like, oh, you're so smart, you're in a master's program, but what goes along with that, and all of these things, are certainly relevant. I think you'll feel at some point, hopefully not all the time, but sometimes during this program. For those of you who have already been in classes in the program, it's definitely an accelerated, intense program. And for those of you who are new, we'll learn kind of the rhythm. And I didn't assign groups in this course, you'll see, but I would like you to get to know the other students in class. When you're looking at the people in the class, you can navigate right on this Canvas toolbar and see who the people are in the course. And again, this is the Z3 course, so if you don't see yourself, you're in the Z2 course. But feel free to reach right out to somebody in the class. There's a way to email the whole class at one time. Maybe you're just struggling on something and just want to run it by the whole class. Hopefully you get to know some students in the class. Of course, it's this virtual setting, but there is a lot of opportunity to get to know people. And one of my favorite stories that just happened the Friday before commencement this May was that there were two students. They were both relatively local, but in a lot of the classes together, and we have a strawberries and champagne event the night before graduation for the graduate students. And the students, two of them, were so excited to finally meet each other. They were graduating on Saturday, and they said, this was my backbone, this was my person getting through this program, and they had never met before, but they spoke on the phone, they exchanged emails, and they became very close, and they had never met before. So it was kind of a cool thing. So again, just get to know some of the students in the class, reach out to them, and I think you'll greatly benefit from doing that. So there are the people in the class, and their emails, whatever their login is just at bpath.edu. So feel free to do that. I would encourage that. just navigating through the course. You have the home button, which won't change. It's just a little introduction to the course. Announcements I use very often in class. Throughout the week, I may come across an article that I think is relevant outside of just the normal module. There may be a networking event that I want to communicate to you. The links I will always put here for the live conference call, and so on. So I encourage you and highly recommend that you sign into Canvas really on a daily basis to see, any updates. Just, if you plan to do your work on the weekend, that's fine, but you may want to get into the habit of just signing into Canvas on a regular basis. Setting up your BayPath email to your phone, I do, and it's very beneficial just for me. If I'm not in the office or, just out and about, I can always be connected. So when you are emailing me, I encourage you to email me at my BayPath email. And if for whatever reason you don't hear back from me within a 24-hour period, it means maybe your email got lost in the shuffle. I hate to even say that because I'm typically really good about getting back to people, but just email me again because I want to get back to you right away. I'm very timely and I strive to do that. But in the event that I don't, it's not because just send the email again if you could. So the syllabus is the main topic that I wanted to discuss tonight and to walk you through what this course is all about. So I'll pull up the syllabus right here. And again, hopefully everybody is seeing the live syllabus. Sorry, let me just pull it up here. So we have the syllabus. I'll download that. Here's the document. I keep flipping back and forth. Yeah, so you don't see it right now. Hold on. I have to share my screen. There are, again, some kind of tweaky things here that, here I am popping in and out. Here's the syllabus to share. Okay, so here's the syllabus. Oops. So the main kind of purpose in this course is really to understand how to do accounting research and to understand kind of the current events in the accounting field. So the book, this is my first time using this book and it's phenomenal. It's a really great book. I do have the 2 chapters that are assigned this week emailable. I'm going to post them. For some reason I'm having a hard time just downloading them and attaching them, so we'll have to wait until I'm back in the office tomorrow, but I do have them where I could just email you, so just shoot me an email if you want them tonight. Otherwise I'll post them in Canvas tomorrow. But again, this course is designed to explore how to do accounting research and to look at the recent developments and changes in the accounting field. The course will provide an in-depth look at the contemporary issues with context of pronouncements of the Financial Accounting Standards Board using the FASB codification and GAAP, the Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. Throughout this course, you'll be challenged to extract and interpret the changes being made in the field. You should be able to determine what changes are occurring in the accounting policies, who the policies affect, and how these policies will be implemented. So it's an exciting course because this course, I don't think you would have seen anything really like it before. We touch upon it briefly in undergraduate programs, but this idea of doing accounting research and sophisticatedly being able to use the FASB codification, I think raises the bar for you in terms of the type of accountant that you'll be. And I'll point out, I want to flip through a couple of pages of the book to get used to just how that's set up. But the book, chapter 1, talks about, staff level accountants may not need to do a lot of research, but the further up you get in your accounting career, the more research that you'll be required to do. So this course really will help you be able to do that and hopefully advance you in your careers. So again, the description looking at the FASB pronouncements, codifications, and how they relate to other standards. You can read through these outcomes and the program outcomes. The required text, I had emailed all of you the skills for accounting research. The bookstore did just email me this afternoon saying they do have more copies available. So they're there. And again, I'll be uploading chapter 1 and 2 just for this week, so that if there is a delay on your book, at least it gets you through this week. But I'm really not legally able to copy more pages than just a couple of chapters. So get your text. We will be relying heavily on the book because of just the nature of the course. I never like to assign a textbook that we're not going to use to begin with, so we will be using all of your case studies and exercises and problems will be coming directly from the book, and all of the readings that are required come from the book, in addition to any supplemental readings or videos that I post. The FASB codification, I did just today post your user access for the FASB codification. BayPath pays for this, so try to keep it, within the walls of BayPath. It's really not to be shared outside of BayPath or students. But we'll get into this more heavily, so I'm not going to go over that right now, what it's all about, because that will be one of the lessons. Let's see what else I want to talk about here. There will be additional readings, so you have your textbook readings, but I will be posting additional articles and videos that I do expect you to watch in order to answer your questions online or in discussions properly. Late work, I want to be as flexible and reasonable as I can be. I have a policy in here if it gets out of control with late work, with half credit and things like that, when late work is going on. But I understand everybody is working and has personal lives. So again, I try to be as flexible and understanding as possible. Everything will be due by Sunday night. So you do have the whole week to play around with the schedule. I do require just one post by Friday night, just so that, and I'll talk about that more, just so that there's one post in there and then you comment on another post. But other than that, everything's due Sunday night. So you've got a lot of flexibility with your time. Don't save everything for Sunday night, because if something happens Sunday night and you haven't done anything, then you're kind of faced with a snowball effect type issue. But again, I really do try to be as flexible as possible, but the deadlines keep us on track, and otherwise I think it will just be impossible to get through the course if you're not submitting work each week on a timely basis. Attendance is kind of funny in an online format, but it really just goes by getting that work in by Sunday night. The academic integrity policy I do take very seriously. If there's an instance that I think you are submitting work that may not be a product of your own, we have what do we call it, an academic integrity committee, and I just email them saying I think there's an issue, and they handle it. So, but just know, I expect the work to be a product of your own, and I don't expect that to be an issue, but if I feel that something strange is going on, I do take it seriously. Now, for students with any disabilities, we do have a wonderful student support center, and I have the email somewhere in here. Jamie Kapersky, I can share with you her email. I thought I had it in here. Maybe not. Sorry about that. I can pass along her email. But if you need extended time or there's something going on, she's able to assess and work with you to come up with a modified schedule that would help get you through the course. Technology, of course, it's an online course, so you need computer access and so on. Your BayPath email, again, check your email, check Canvas. This should just be part of the regular thing that you're doing now as a BayPath student in the MSA program, especially if you're new to the program, getting used to just signing in on a daily basis. The grade will be determined. We will have discussions, and those are just, I try to keep them to a minimum. This week we only have one discussion question. In the future, I really don't like to post more than 2, but you will have discussions as part of your grade. You're required to do 2 discussions, one original post and one post to your own discussion if somebody's adding value that you want to comment to, or to somebody else's post is great as well. You have to have your original post posted by Friday, and I do have that built into the you can read all about that. In terms of word requirement, this is really up to you. I used to have a minimum word requirement. I am looking for, an academic professional written response, not a one sentence, just irrelevant response. I think I'd say, a comfortable post is probably around 100 to 150 words. So, a few sentences about the topic. But I'm not going to sit there and count your words. I'm looking for an intelligent response to the discussion question, and then an intelligent response to somebody that posted to yours or somebody else's. Now, I understand, the questions or the responses can be a little bit redundant if you're not the first poster, and you're number 10, what are you going to add of new value? And I get where this gets a little bit gray. Do your best. If you end up doing 2 posts instead of an original post because you really can't find anything new to say about the topic, fine. Again, the point of the exercise is really to get you thinking about the topic and, just learning from what other people may have to say about it as well. So the main expectation is that you post 1 by Friday, hopefully an original post, and then you post a second response over the weekend to your own post or another post. The review questions and exercises and case studies all come from the chapter, and we can read, or from your textbook. You can read here are your discussion types of assignments. The review questions encourage you to recall and apply key points from the reading. So you are expected to read the chapters that are assigned. In the review questions, I've not assigned all of them. There are a handful that I think are most applicable. You will submit those in Canvas using a Word document is easiest. If you type them out in a Word document and you post it as a submission, that is best. Same for the exercises. They provide students with an opportunity to practice your research skills using the codification and different literature that you will have access to. And those are expected, they go along right with the chapter that you've just read. And then you have case studies where it's just a little more applied research involving these accounting issues, responding maybe in a memo format or an email as if it's kind of more of a practical life situation. So all 3 of those come right from the book. So what you'll see when we look in Canvas, you'll see the ones that I've assigned in Canvas, and you'll submit them again in a Word document and upload them right into Canvas. And then there will be a final project on an accounting topic that you will have been exposed to in the course. There are a handful that are really current and kind of popular new accounting literature. So that might be a topic that you want. But a lot of times you can choose right from, maybe something you've read about in these case studies or exercises that seem interesting to you. The paper, 7 to 10 pages, double space, so picture is really less than 5 pages on a single space format. APA formatting is required. We have a writing tutor if you need some help with just putting together your thoughts, or you're not sure about the APA formatting. I'll post some information on how to just enhance your knowledge on that. But I'm looking, for your thoughts on a topic. So we'll talk about that more, and I'll have some scaffolding built into the course where there's a time where you have to present to me what your topic's going to be, kind of a proposed topic of what you plan to submit. So, we'll all be due at the very end of the course. There will be some various things due, and you'll see how that will play out. And then there will be a presentation. So even though we're in an online format, using either Google Hangouts or the online format in Canvas works very well for presentations, where you're able to upload a PowerPoint presentation, record, and then save the recording and just submit it so that we can watch your presentation on the final project. It's kind of funny because it's due the last week of the course, so I'm not requiring everybody to watch each other's, but I'll be certainly watching it for your final grade. So it's not like we'll waste time per se and have it like you're sitting in the last course. I remember in my master's program, I swear half of the course was just listening to other people present, which is great. You can learn from each other, but I'm not sure if it's the best use of our time in a 7-week format. So here's the outline. Again, it's 7 weeks, so it's pretty fast. We end up getting through the entire text in 7 weeks. For those of you who already have the book, it's not a big book. I think it's pretty reasonable. I think that we should feel pretty comfortable getting through it. So the first week, we've got these 2 chapters assigned, and it's a lot of overview of the materials. And you'll see each week there are 2 chapters assigned with the same type of formatting. So I don't like to change up the formatting of what's required. I like to keep it pretty consistent so that you're not struggling in this course just how to navigate the course. I mean, that's not the point of the course. It's to learn the material within the course. So let me pull up what your Canvas page looks like, and we can just walk through an example of the modules. Second here. All right, so here are the modules. I have an introduction module. So this week, I do want everybody to post a welcome icebreaker announcement, just a 1-minute video. I want to see you. So you can see my video, and I understand, you know, you might be camera shy. I'm camera shy. I put some pictures of us. Here's a picture of my daughter. I have a 13-week-old now too. I was actually pregnant in this picture, but this is, I had won the 40 Under 40 Business West Award. So this was in the Business West publication. And then here's a new picture of all of us after he was born. And then I posted a video of myself, you know, just a quick introduction on some of my background. So I want to see you. And, you know, since most of you, the majority of you I've at least spoken to, a lot of you I have not actually met. So just posting this 1-minute video, I go back to these actually a lot throughout the course just to say, you know, because I'm trying to get to know you. And in this format, it's just different, right? It's not like I have you in class and we kind of are able to talk before class and during a break and after class. So I want to have that experience with you, and I want to get to know you. And this is kind of the first little thing for me to at least say, okay, here you are. So hopefully, you know, if I see you somewhere, I can recognize you. But I really want you to reach out to me as often as possible, you know, just with anything really, obviously course related, but if there's something going on at your work, if you're looking for a different job, you know, let's form that relationship and let's talk, because I really would like to get to know you, even just outside of this course. So once this introduction module is over, that's it. But I'm not requiring you to go back in and watch the videos of other people in the course, but I think it would be a great opportunity for you to get to know the other people in the course. So this one, I think I saw in Tina, you must be in the Z2 course because I saw that you posted your video. So just go in there, you know, and just look at other people's. You may understand that they have some type of network that is relevant to you. Maybe I asked just for some informal information about yourselves, but it's a good opportunity just to get to know each other. So now the core of what the modules look like. I always have a little overview of what the week is. So here's kind of your checklist, how to navigate through week 1. This live conference call, obviously I'll post it. So for those who have not attended, obviously you're attending, but if you can't attend, I think you should always start the week watching the video, because I will be talking about things that hopefully will make the week easier for you. Reading chapters 1 and 2 from your accounting research text, answering all of the questions, watching the supplemental videos, and then posting to the discussions. Now, in which order you want to do those is completely up to you. My recommendation is to start with chapter 1. So if I were going through here, you know, I'd be looking at chapter 1. I always post the learning objectives here. So at the end of the chapter, you can go back and make sure that you're comfortable kind of thinking through what these objectives are within the chapter. So read first. Here I give a video. Sometimes the videos, sometimes I do my own videos. Sometimes I use, you know, outside videos. It really just depends on, you know, do I think this video sufficiently covers what you need to know or not? And then here are the review questions. So you go to the back of your book And these are the review questions 1, 9, 13, 14, 15 that you need to be able to answer and upload into a file and submit right here. So this is where you'll be submitting your work. So the review questions go there. And so on, the exercises are here. I have 4 exercises, and then obviously the case studies. I do end up posting after the work is due an answer key, and I will give you feedback on your own work. So it's kind of a twofold thing that you can look and kind of see what the proper solutions are to your questions, and then I'll give you feedback, you know, if necessary. But it's, I mean, the chapters, the 2 intro chapters are pretty good just to getting you acclimated. I don't think there's anything heavy in those chapters that needed kind of extenuous understanding. But then I do have some additional readings. So in this particular chapter, we'll be looking at some lease topics. So picture the course being, you have these contemporary issues, but you also have these research topics going on. I try to merge them as best as possible, you know, where you're looking at lease issues in the chapter, but sometimes the book isn't as, I don't want to say current in the issues, but maybe doesn't emphasize them as enough that I want you to be aware of. So there are these additional readings that I expect you to read, and how do I know that you read them? I don't, but I think it's going to be evident, especially in the discussion board and in a final paper if you've done this additional work, and then I'll post some separate videos. So you may know a lot about leasing already, you may not. So these videos may be relevant to you to understand. This one talks about just what leases are if you've forgotten from an undergrad, and then this video talks about the changes in the lease standards. So watch those videos. So again, you won't always have the supplemental videos, and again, sometimes they might be these outside videos and readings, sometimes they might be videos that I'm posting with my own lecture notes about a topic. It really just depends on the topic that we're talking about this week. But this particular topic, the contemporary issue topic, has to do with leases. So the discussion board usually goes along with the contemporary issues topic. So this one is talking about the lease comments. And so, you know, again, without going into too much detail, because you'll do the reading, you'll go in here and post, you know, some posts about the lease contemporary issues topic. So that's the essence of what each module is going to look like. They always open up at midnight on the Monday morning. So 12 a.m. Monday, I have them opening up. I don't like to open up the weeks earlier, because then it just kind of, there's too much of an overlap. So you finish everything for, say, this week, except for that first discussion post that's due by Friday by midnight. Everything else is due Sunday by midnight. Then the new topics will open up on Monday. So you cannot get yourself in a snowball effect. It's just not going to work if all of a sudden you're emailing me on Monday saying, I had a rough week and I couldn't get through half the work. Well, now you've got a whole other week of work due, and there's not a lot of breathing room in this type of program to fall behind. So you've got to figure out, you know, maybe you get through chapter 1, all of that, you know, by Friday, and then chapter 2 is all done over the weekend. It's really up to you. You know yourself best on how to get through the topic, but or through all of the work. But here's the layout of it. So that's what each week will generally look like. You'll always have 2 chapters assigned. You'll always have review questions, exercises, case studies. You'll always have 1 to 2 discussion questions. And then, you know, the variable is what type of supplemental information based on videos and lecture notes that I post that I think will help you through the subject. This video about the FASB codification is excellent. So it will get you kind of involved there. And then I just wanted to pull up the chapter so that you can, let me just, again, I was having a download problem, so I'm just going to, don't mind my emails. I shouldn't have this pulled up. Hold on, I don't know how to take it down. Sorry, hold on a minute here. Okay, hold on one second. Let me just pull up the chapter. Let's see. Oops. So here's what, the first chapter looks like. They're not terribly long chapters, but just to do a quick scroll through, this book is designed for student use, really. And it is, an upper level, you see right here, it's turned off, a senior or graduate level. There were a couple of things I wanted to point out. This is what I was talking about. Let's see, where is it? Who needs the research skills? This is what I was saying, this entry level needs some, and the further up you get, the more research skills you need. So being able to have these skills now is going to really help. Again, research is done, they say, two different types of research done by accountants and academics. We're focused on the actual accounting, real world experience here. On the different types of accountants. Now, some of you, just because of the varying levels that everybody's coming from, there's one area I just wanted to make sure everybody was comfortable with. And you'll, again, read through all of this. It's really good. And I didn't assign these now you try questions, but they're excellent. I went back and forth to actually assign them or not. I just read them and try them. They're not assigned. Let's see, there's one area here. Okay. Some of the acronyms that I want you to be familiar with and, the different types of research environments, don't bypass these if you don't know what they are. So the FASB we're going to talk a lot about, and this would be a good time to take some notes. The FASB is the Financial Accounting Standards Board, and they are the ones who implement GAAP, the Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. So I'm actually going to pull up a little diagram here. Hopefully this will work. I like to call it GAAP World. GAPland. Let's see if I can get this new screen to share. Hopefully you see my white screen now. So the deal with GAPland, let's get a pencil, is, and this is all in this, oops, let's see. This is all in your text, but I think this kind of just helps you understand it a little bit better. So don't mind my scratch here. I don't know if this is going to work right, but let's see. So if this is, I might start to link my iPad to this so I can write instead of kind of on a tablet. But if this is GAAP, hopefully everybody knows GAAP, Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. Then we have the FASB. So FASB, this is much easier if I was just on a board, but the FASB is who issues GAAP, right? So the Financial Accounting Standards Board, they're located in Norwalk, Connecticut, so not too far. I actually take undergraduate students on a field trip to the FASB, and we sit in a board meeting. Actually, in your book, you're going to be reading about the chairman of the FASB. We meet him, Russ Goldman. So it's neat. So whoever wants to go to the FASB will be going next semester, and you're more than welcome to come with us. But they create GAAP for the entire United States. Now, FASB is overseen by, this would be if I were in a class to say, does anybody know? But the SEC. So again, your book is talking about this. to kind of put it in this picture, I think it's a little bit easier. So the SEC is the Security and Exchange Commission. Now, the Security and Exchange Commission was formed during the financial crisis, the stock market crash in the 30s, or actually the 20s and the 30s. They came to light for investor confidence. So the SEC is the one who actually has the power to create GAAP, but they've delegated their power to the FASB. So we'll be doing, and actually some of your assignments this week is to go on to the SEC website, the Security and Exchange Commission, their government website, so it's sec.gov. Your book explains all of this. And FASB, who is really a nonprofit organization, it's fasb.org. Again, your assignments will help you with these websites, but understand how this works. So you're all MSA students, right? You're getting these master's degrees in accounting. You have to understand the rules of accounting or GAAP. FASB creates the rules. SEC oversees the FASB and delegates the power to the FASB. The SEC is where public companies need to upload all of their 10Ks and 10Qs, all of their public information. So there's a lot going on in the Security and Exchange Commission's website, and you'll be learning about them. I just wanted to give this quick overview. The other thing that your book talks a little bit about is the PCAOB. Let's see my letters. So the PCAOB is the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, and they are the organization to make sure that the accountants are doing their due diligence to make sure that the companies are following GAAP. So the PCAOB was formed really after all of the accounting scandals like Enron in the early 2000s. And again, they oversee the auditors. So it's a public company accounting oversight board to make sure that GAAP is being followed at the companies and that the auditors are making sure GAAP is being followed. Your book also talks about the AICPA, which is the American Institute of CPAs. I'll just put this down here. The AICPA, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, they help with really just the contemporary issues that we'll be talking in this course. So when I need to understand a topic that the FASB has come out with, so the codifications that we're going to be using to understand these rules are coming from the FASB codifications. Now the AICPA comes in and tries to make those rules a little bit easier for the CPAs to follow. Mind, you know, the AICPA helps interpret the FASB just through different seminars and things. So again, a lot of conferences that I attend, you know, might be through the AICPA. And let me just see if there's anything. And again, your book's going to go over all of this. Your book talks a little about the GASB, the Government Accounting Standards Board. They're the same as the FASB here, but they're for government companies only. So you'll learn about a little bit about what the GASB does. What other entities? So it's kind of alphabet soup getting to know, but what I don't want you to do is just see an acronym in your book and completely just sideswipe it, because what I don't want you to do is graduate from this program and somebody's talking about the FASB and you don't know what the FASB is, or GAAP, or the SEC, or the PCAOB. You need to kind of feel the responsibility of yourself to understand who all of the players are in this game of accounting, not game, but profession of accounting. Hold on, I'm trying to get back to our book screen. Hold on a minute here. Try to flip back. So here we have the GASB, the Government Accounting Standards Board. So they're very similar to the FASB, but again, they deal with the government. I'll let you read through the standard setting process, but it's very fascinating. For those of you who are taking the legal studies course too, along with this course, the legal issues, with the accounting issues, it's very similar. You know, when a law comes into place, here you can see the timeline of how, you know, who's responsible. Now it's FASB, the codification is where all of the rules are housed. But it's an interesting process. You can read more about the SEC. Here's our fearless leader of the SEC here, Mary Jo. I've not met her before, but you know, she's the one who's going to lay down the law if somebody's not following the rules. Again, really read this, because it's really, again, here's our alphabet soup in here that don't just pass by an acronym and not know. Here's Russ Golden. He's who we meet when we go to the FASB. There is a foundation, the Financial Accounting Foundation, that actually oversees the FASB, but it's a foundation, so it's their nonprofit organization. So read through, and then that's it. So then you can see your review questions are coming right from the chapter. Your exercises are coming right from the chapter, as well as your case studies. So again, it's forcing you to read the chapter, but it's just very interesting things that hopefully, you know, you want to be learning about being in this program. But you can see here, you know, I'm asking you to go to the sec.gov website. I'm asking you to go to the fasb.org website, looking up these standards. So it's interesting. And just to give you one more little background, and you'll read about this, the pre-codification standards, before, they used to have rules of accounting kind of all over the place. They were in these statements of position, these accounting position boards. The AICPA was coming up with things. The FASB was coming up with things. But now, under the new FASB codification, everything, it's codified, it's coded, and it's all under one umbrella. So it makes it much easier for students to do research. But for instance, this problem, looking at the pre-codification, you'll see just FASBs listed and then know that they're all part of the pre-codification, or of the codification. So again, not to overwhelm you with all of this, this is what this whole week is all about, learning about this topic. And I'm available for, obviously, questions. But that's kind of the overview of that chapter. And I'll just pull up chapter 2 as well to do a quick overview of that. But this is how I like to design our normal Mondays would be, you know, probably 15, 20 minutes on each chapter, just giving you my additional insights on the chapter, and kind of, you know, just if I have some additional experiences that I want to share about it, or whatever the case may be. So hopefully you like that. Kicked out of my email, so hold on a minute. Hopefully my email doesn't pop up again. Let's see. So then in chapter 2, everyone sees chapter 2, it's the introduction to the codification. Actually, I just realized I put the tutorial video of the codification in the chapter 1 module. It's fine. But the codification, again, is doing the research, actually looking at what the rules are. So if you're looking up something to do with leases, you will understand how to go to the codification and understand what the rules are, of what type of accounting needs to be done. So I'm going to just spend just a couple of minutes on this, but you can see, reading about the codification, and see the accounting standard, the codification, everything that, you know, I've been talking about is all nice, very nicely worded here. The sources of the codification, how it was pre-populated. So remember I said before everything was coming from all over the place. It says, you know, everything over the past century. So it used to be in all of these different bodies, and now it's housed in one codification. So it's kind of pretty cool that you only have to look one place now, instead of, you know, really having to dig into all of these other sources. I remember when I first started doing research, it was near impossible, because I wasn't, you know, privy to codifications that were coming out in the 70s like some of the partners might have been. So they knew, you know, let's say the new changes that have gone on in accounting over the past decade, I can tell you, oh, this was the year this was implemented. This was the year this was implemented. But prior to that, I was like, how am I going to learn all of this stuff? How am I going to, understand it like the partners at the firm that I used to work for understood it? The codification helps. It really helps new researchers do research because, again, it's all in one place. So you can search for an issue. You're going to learn how to search through these codifications, and it's all right there. So it's very helpful. And, looking at all of this additional guidance, the updated codification you'll read about. And this is what the tutorial walks you through. This is the real FASB codification that you have access to. It's not free, so you have to pay for this service to look at these, but it's all coded, so you can follow through where the guidance is, and that's what you'll be learning about in this chapter. So again, it's really all about the codification and how to get into this research, looking at the structure. And then, and there's not really much more I want to say about it that you're not going to see in the video, understanding just the different topics here. So I won't, waste too much time there. But then when we get to the actual, again, all of this is in the video. It's a very short video, but it goes over this all very, very nicely. And then when you're looking at your actual questions that are assigned, it's having you go into the codification and do a little bit of research, pulling things out, in which area of the codification would you browse for leases and inventory, and you're going to play around with it. I'm not looking for absolute perfection in your submissions. I'm looking at a very good effort that you've made, some intelligent attempt, let's say, at getting this done. There's your exercises are going to be actually looking for the specific sections in the codification. And then your case studies are doing some research of your own. Here's the issue. You look into it and you write me a memo about what you found. Should something be classified as current or non-current? Should you issue a going concern? How do you deal with website development cost accounting? So it's a variety of things. What do you do about this revenue recognition issue? And you're going to find the guidance to help you do it. So it's a new exposure, but it's very important to just understand how to do accounting research, because you have to understand that in order to understand kind of these more technical issues that are another point in this class. Let's say the leases we're going to talk a lot about. So it's kind of exciting to get in there and learn about the different ways to do research. So that is, hopefully you're not feeling overwhelmed. It's really meant to make you stronger accountants, this course. It's a lot of technical knowledge that you'll be learning about. Pieces, it's very understandable. Again, the book is great. I'm very excited about this book. I think it's one of those books that you can keep on your desk at work and take good notes and just learn. Research like this is not heavily tested on the CPA exam. For those of you who are looking to pursue the CPA, they do have kind of a research section on the exam, but it's different. So it's really more practical than anything. And so with that, I am going to sign off in just a minute. I'll stay online so that you can ask any questions, but I'm not going to record your questions in my broadcast. So I'm going to stop the broadcast now. Thank you for listening, and then I'll open it up to any questions once I'm off broadcast. So hold on just a minute.